everyone, and thank you for joining us. My name is Alexia Tătărușanu and I'll be your host today. Our guest is Chantal Moll de Alba, Professor of Civil Law at University of Barcelona, Director of the Land Register, Chair and Vice President of the Civil Section of Barcelona's Bar Society. Through her work, she has helped shape how future lawyers understand civil law and its role in society. In this conversation, we'll explore not only the foundations and evolutions of civil law, but also what it means to study, teach, and practice law in a rapidly changing world. We'll also touch on questions many law students have today, from building a legal career to navigating the challenges of the profession. Dear Professor Moll de Alba, thank you for joining us today. To begin with, we would like to learn about your professional journey. How did you become a professor?
Well, first of all, thank you very much for inviting me. I am so pleased to be in Bucharest, Romania, and in your university because I feel at home. And so I became a professor because I was a law student. I made my studies very quickly because I made my la licenciatura, what it was called la licenciatura, which is in 5 years. I did it in 3 years. And so I was a good student and I wanted to stay at university because I already finished when I was 20 years old. So that's why I obtained a scholarship and I could prepare my PhD at University of Barcelona. I also had some stays in La Sorbonne, Paris Assas. My PhD was on construction law, and I became a PhD doctor, and then I started giving lessons at University of Barcelona. So there's almost 30 years that I am teaching at University of Barcelona.
Over the years, your dedication to teaching civil law has shaped many generations of students. Can you share with the community of law what it has been like to teach for so long and what drives you to continue engaging with new generations?
That's a very good question because, as I told you, there are 30 years that I am teaching. So I started last century, at the end of last century, 1995, 1996. And at the beginning, students were even older than me, okay? I remember that I tried to look older in order to be respectful. And so, as you said, it's 30 generations of students that I have had at University of Barcelona. And I could see all over these years how society changed. The names of my students changed because now they are more diverse, no? And now my students are so young. They are born in the 20th century. Right now, my students were born in 2004, 2005. So I think that I'm still motivated because I try to adapt to each generation. And right now, I am adapting to your world, no? The world you belong to because you are so young. Moreover, we have other changes such as technology. Now at university, we have the challenge of the artificial intelligence, AI. And so the way we evaluate has also to be changed. That's why this year I created a channel of TikTok, which is Aprende Derecho Civil, no? Learn private law, learn civil law. And I created with my students, and I thought that a way to learn is learning by doing. And as your generation likes so much videos, and you are so used to take videos of yourselves, I decided to do each lesson in a video and we prepared a script, and the script was technical questions on drept reale, no, in Romanian, no, derechos reales, and we prepared video with my students. So the main characters are my students, and they have to learn by heart the questions and the answers, which are technical questions. But the video are done in such a way that it is so easy to learn, and it is so they felt very engaged, and they participate, and you can see it at TikTok at my address chantal.moll, and you will see our videos. And I am so proud because my students learned by heart and had very good results. And not only them, but other people all around Spain follow our videos and learned Dret Civil, Derecho Civil, with these videos and with our questions and answers. So I am very happy, and these keep me motivated to see each day my students. It's like a joy. I consider I am so lucky to have this possibility of being with them.
That is amazing. Speaking about academic environments, we know that your career is closely connected to Univesidad de Barcelona. Could you tell us a few words about how you see this institution, its faculty of law, and what our students should expect if they choose to study there for a semester or a full year through an Erasmus mobility?
Oh, I do recommend Romanian students to come to Barcelona. My university has a very important international program. Each year we receive a lot of Erasmus students, and I met them, and I know that they have great time in Barcelona. And Barcelona is a very attractive city, and my university is very open, and I am sure that they will feel at home.
I'm sure about it too. It sounds absolutely amazing. Turning now to the perspective of current students, what skills do you believe law students today need the most?
So as we commented before, artificial intelligence is changing all our professions, and especially law, because knowledge will not have such a value, because now knowledge is at one click. No? So skills, and that's why as professor I want to develop these skills. I think that the skills that a lawyer should develop is how to get the information, how to structure this information, to be systematic, to be structured, a structured person. To have digital skills, definitely. That's why with my students, the different proofs that they have to do, the different exams that they have to do, there are related with digital skills. They have to prepare presentation, they have to prepare videos, they have to do what we call a digital portfolio. So it is like a ebook with the evidences of their learning all along the course. And so I do think that we must, as professor, develop these digital skills in our students. At the master course, where I also teach, the master which allows you to become a lawyer, there's an exam that they have to do, a work that they have to do is to create also an electronic portfolio with the experience that they had at their traineeship. So the important is to be structured, to to be very good in all digital tools and to communicate. For a lawyer, it is so important to communicate. That's why I congratulate you personally, Alexa, to do this this kind of podcast, and I congratulate as a university to promote this, because definitely a lawyer is someone who communicates, who has empathy, okay, who understands social problems, personal problems, and a person that you can rely on. So trustful is important as well, to be a person with values and a person who is trustful.
Thank you for that. Many students at the beginning of the academic journey find the first year of law school overwhelming. What strategies would you recommend to help them succeed early on?
Well, these are the strategies that I used. 2 years ago, I had the first year students, because in civil law, we go on each year. So first year, second year, third year, 4 years. So I take a generation and I follow them. So 2 years ago, I had the first grade students, and I apply these kind of strategies. So digital strategies, to do oral exams, and to connect each lesson to social and practical problems, because this way they can be aware that law is useful, that law is human, that law is practical and is the best instrument to have peace and to solve human conflicts.
Reflecting on your own student years, is there something you wish you had known earlier?
Well, I was very, very young, because, as I told you, my studies were done in 3 years instead of 5. I was very young. What could I have known earlier? No, it is when you are young, and then you get experience, and we learn each year. We are always learning. I am still learning. So I don't think we have to say, oh, I should have known this. No, we discover, and we do our own opinion, our own vision based on our experience. So no, learning by doing, that's the clue.
I love that. It's an amazing way to live. On a more personal note, is there a lesson from your personal life that has stayed with you?
A lesson, yes. My lesson is that the most important is the human relationship with the person you meet all along your life, because these persons are the ones who give you opportunities and open new worlds. So each human being that you meet is important. At university, you have to have your ideas, your objectives, your goals, but sometimes you didn't even thought about what would finally happen, because what it finally happens depends on other persons. And so I recommend to pay attention to human relationship, because at the end, it is the most important. It will give you knowledge, it will give you labor opportunities, and it will give you the possibility to have new worlds. No, look at me. It was thanks to that I met Professor Dimitri Ovidio Dimitri in an association, International Society for Construction Law, and then we had a relationship, and the more and more we get connected and opportunities arrive. And now if I have this opportunity, this big chance to be here in Romania is thanks to a person, and to this human relationship.
Before we finish, I'd like to ask you one final question. If you could give one piece of advice to students who want to pursue a career in law, what would it be?
I will tell them that they have chosen a beautiful professional career, that we are always learning. Even if you have your bachelor degree, of course, law change with society, and then we must be very adaptable. We cannot take things for granted. We have always to be curious and learning and adapting. But it is a profession which allows us to help people and to solve big conflicts. And when we see countries, we see wars, but in fact, the conflict can be the same between two particulars. And the way to solve it is more or less the same, is to understand what is happening, to listen to the other person, and to try to find a solution. That's it, a human solution, which is good for both parties, win-win. So that's what a lawyer should do, to be with people and to try to solve any kind of conflict.
Professor Moll de Alba, it was a pleasure having you here with us on the podcast. Thank you for all the insights you shared with us.
Thank you so much.